It's a very controversial topic because some people on Twitter think it's linked to this stupid matrix attack that's going on in my life right now, but it's not at all. But I used to run a completely legal streaming studio. So there are studios like this all over the world, either Twitch, Kick, there are naked ones, non-naked ones, where people broadcast via streaming from certain studio centers. Yep. So I ran something like this, which had a bunch of models on it. Some of them were sitting around in bikinis, some of them got more naked. I won't pretend that it's not what it is, you know? But that business started when I was around 23 and a bit, and I sold it all and I was done with the industry by the time I was 28. Very, very tricky business to run. It's more about your people skills and managing groups of people, making sure everyone's happy, making sure everyone's, making enough money, making sure there's no jealousy between streamers, etc. But it's not something that I go into too much on this podcast because genuinely I don't find it very interesting. At the time I was, running, I had some small arcade casinos, I had a few other things going on. Andrew was still fighting, of course. But it's something that I did for a number of years. And now I've been hit with this stupid matrix attack. And I'll reiterate this once again, as I have done on many other podcasts. People say, ha, 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 he used to run a streaming studio. Were those people human trafficked? It has nothing to do with this stupid matrix attack they hit me with. The allegations against me in this attack are that in the last 3 years, so way after I've already been done with this, I was somehow convincing my friends to make TikTok videos so I could steal money. That's the evidence. Not the charges. The charges are serious. Human trafficking, that's a very serious sounding charge. But the evidence and the story the prosecution is trying to paint is that I somehow help my friends to make money on TikTok so I can steal it. That's what I'm actually accused of. It's not very interesting because running a webcam studio is not an interesting job. You're sitting staring at spreadsheets all day and numbers. It's not a very interesting job and it's not a very interesting business. It's the business of, and I'll say, as a Christian now, and Andrew's obviously reverted to Islam, it's not a business I would run now. But you have to understand, I'm a young man in my 20s, I'm 23, I see it's a way of making money. The people who worked for me were very, very happy. They've actually all been interviewed by the police and they've said, get lost, I worked for Tristan, he paid me very well. But the people who worked for me were all very happy, I was very happy. It made a lot of money, but I don't think it's a very interesting business in the same way the gumball business isn't interesting. The gumball business is interesting because I was 5, but essentially I was selling gumballs for exorbitant amounts of money to people who didn't know the value of money. Now, with any kind of streaming, you've seen these people on TikTok. Ice cream so good. You've seen these people, yes?
Yeah, these NPC ones,
What are they selling and why on earth are people buying it? The truth is, even though I ran a business very similar to that setup, I don't know why my customers were paying. I don't understand what would motivate someone to buy virtual ice cream for a girl on TikTok saying the ice cream tastes good. I don't get it. So I can't really dive too much into that apart from the fact that, a lot of men are lonely. A lot of men have no access to women. And the message I try to purport now in my messaging and in my motivational speeches to youngsters is don't be that kind of guy. Be the kind of guy who's classy, respectful, wealthy, fit, strong, and you're never going to be buying digital ice cream for a girl on TikTok to lick the screen. That's never going to happen to you. So I steer people away from that. And I'm actually very proud of myself. And the message that I've learned from running that streaming studio is essentially this. People attack me for it today. They attack 35-year-old Christian, father, Tristan Tate. But what I would say is I would never, ever turn back time and not run that business because male loneliness, male depression, the fact that men have no access to women, how sad it makes them, all of these things that me and Andrew know, I certainly know from running that business. I was more involved in it than Andrew ever was. And essentially, in the world, if I were, which I think is quite tragic, if I were a former gang member and drug dealer, and I was giving speeches about, listen kids, don't take drugs, everyone would be like, okay, let's listen to this guy, because he sold drugs. If I was an ex-drug addict and I said, kids don't take drugs, they say, let's listen to this guy, good for him, ex-drug addict, turned his life around. I ran a perfectly legal streaming business for a number of years, and now when I tell people, hey guys, don't watch porn, don't watch adult content, don't give money to streaming girls on the internet, don't tip girls on Twitch for playing video games, people will be like, you're a hypocrite, you used to run a business like that. I'm like, yes, I know.
That's why I'm telling you.
That's why I'm telling you.
Yeah.
But it gives me the authority, but people dismiss it flippantly and be like, whoa, that's hypocritical. No, it's not. I think I speak from a position of authority much more than any imam or priest who will say, hey, don't watch girls on the internet and tip streaming girls money. Because I know more than they do what the true nature of the business is like. I have more authority than anybody. I simply don't care. And people tried to say that me and Andrew are part of certain movements. I am part of no movement apart from the Tate movement. I may not be right, I may not be wrong, but you can't argue with results, and the way me and Andrew live has worked extremely well for us. It's worked extremely well for tens of thousands of young men who listen to me, who've bettered themselves business-wise, physically, because of mine and Andrew's teachings. I'm not saying I'm right all the time, but when people try to put me into certain groups, Tristan Tate is a conservative broadcaster because I hold a lot of conservative values. Other people in the conservative space will be like, hey, he's not one of us because he used to run this business where girls got their tits out. And I'm like, I don't want to be part of your little weird club. I never said I was a conservative influencer. You've labeled me that, and then you've said I'm not. I don't give a shit what anyone thinks because I don't put myself into any of these boxes. Red pill, conservative, entrepreneur, but I guess you could call my messaging motivational if you find motivation from it. But some people don't. Some people find the way me and Andrew construct our messaging very annoying, very irritating. I don't motivate some people when I say, listen, you're fat and you're broke. Do something about it. Some fat broke people think, okay, great. So I won't be told what I am and what I'm not from people who do not know me. Loads of people, look, every single tool throughout human history that can be developed can be used positively or negatively. Right now, it's the big argument about AI. Oh, is AI going to take over the world? Is it going to control the weapons and the tanks in the future? But obviously, there are massive, massive positive implications of AI, self-driving cars and things like that. But you could go back to the Bronze Age and say, hey, let's stay in the Stone Age, because if you make bronze swords, someone's going to get hurt. And you could halt human, I guess, intellectual evolution, let's call it, by stomping down on ideas. Now the internet is around. A lot of people are using it to do amazing things. Even if you look at Elon Musk purchasing the X platform and letting people speak freely, letting the news regulate itself more so than it was before. Maybe not 100%, but certainly more so than it was before. He's doing great things. And then you see people eating imaginary ice cream and buying girls imaginary ice cream on the internet, and you're like, well, this is stupid. I think that whatever tool you give somebody, it's down to them, and I guess the forces around them, to make the most positive use out of it. I feel like the internet is so incredibly powerful. If you're making money using the internet right now.
Yeah.
So there are young men like you, 27 years old, using the tool of the internet and actually putting out content that benefits people, that people learn from. Maybe you're learning yourself as you grow, and as you speak to people like myself and like my brother and all the people you interview. And you're using it as a massive tool to grow yourself, grow your income, grow your influence, and that's beautiful. You could use exactly the same Wi-Fi network to buy imaginary ice cream if you liked, but that's your choice. It's all about what you do with the tool that you're given. You can give some kids, some 5-year-old kids, a gumball machine, and they'll sit there and chew bubblegum till their teeth fall out. And you can give me a gumball machine, and I'll start a small business and make $50. So my main point was, why is everyone hating on her? I can't remember her name. I wouldn't say it if I did remember, but I can't remember their names. There were two girls I posted photos of. One of them retweeted it, but again, the names slipped my mind. And I said, this is a capitalist consumer society. If they want to lick imaginary ice cream and bounce around on the screen like this, they should be earning zero. But the fact that they are making 5-10 grand a day, why are we mad at them? I'd be mad at my son if I caught him buying imaginary ice cream. I'd probably give him a black eye, for sure. I'd knock him out. What the fuck are you doing? But I don't think the model herself is doing anything immoral or anything wrong. She's not even naked. She's just literally bouncing up and down, pretending to eat imaginary ice cream. But yeah, the fact that something so stupid can make so much money, obviously women are blessed with the gift that men want to throw money at them, and they use the internet to propagate that. I would say, as a young person, if you're wasting your time on the internet playing video games or watching nonsense streamers or clowns or people who have nothing to teach you, then yeah, you need to find a better use for the internet, because there are girls that, neither of them were even hot, by the way. They were both like 5s. One was a 6, one was a 5. I can't remember their faces exactly, but yeah, how on earth are you letting these people make 20 grand a month from the internet and you're still happy with 0? No, it doesn't make any sense. How can you watch that and understand the money that's being made and you still be happy making 0 money using the greatest communication tool that's ever been developed in human history? I don't understand it.
I know.